Howdy, partner.
Say when.
I'm gonna pump you full of.
I'm your Huckleberry. Holy shit. So for context, I actually don't run an M&P a lot, and I also don't run an ACRO a lot. So this is actually from 50 yards, pretty, hit both steels. Gentlemen, welcome back to the Executive Outcomes channel. A channel where your wildest fantasies will never come true, and you waste about 10 to 15 minutes of your life watching these videos. Welcome back. Also, ladies, welcome. I realize I haven't been addressing you in a lot of my videos. It's just I assume that all my bro gun, my gun bros are watching this. If you're here losing brain cells too, then welcome. Today we're talking about the Aimpoint ACRO. Now, what is an Aimpoint ACRO and how do you spell ACRO? Last part, I don't know. But Aimpoint rolled out a pistol-mounted light. Aimpoint rolled out a pistol-mounted red dot. Now, why is this awesome? Well, first off, Aimpoint's stellar. Aimpoint has been around, killing and dominating the game for a long time. So, when they roll out with a pistol-mounted red dot, it's just showing the sign of the times and how we're going towards the future. Colloquially known as the mailbox of death, the Aimpoint ACRO is a 3.5 MOA a dot, and in my honest opinion, I think it's actually pretty stellar. So the price tag is a little bit steeper, but I think it's honestly worth it. Because I mean, for Trijicon RMR, you're probably paying like $450. If you bump up another $100, you get the Aimpoint reliability. I honestly, the more I use it, the more it grows on me. Aimpoint is just one of those dots that I love running and gunning, and I never have an issue with Aimpoint. There are times I'm like, I'm probably gonna break this Aimpoint. Aimpoints are like, no, you're not. You're not gonna break me. I'm stronger than you'll ever be. On the topic of the video, we have two guns here with the ACRO. We have a Glock 17 Gen 5 and an M&P 2.0 on loan from us, from our from a nice salty seaman over stationed in Camp Pendleton. Thank you. You know who you are for letting us borrow this. First to fight, he's loyal. Core value Semper Fi.
Honor,
He's a
commitment.
Marine. He's not. He's a corpsman. He's in the Navy. But we love him, and he's good at putting holes into people in walls. So thank you. I actually didn't realize how much I like the M&P platform until right now. Most. Anytime we're out in the range now filming and we hear like shots popping off, we're just gonna start doing reactive contact drills. We should get a drone. They have a drone.
We should get a drone.
We should hire an intern that has a drone. He'll give us coffee and stuff. Battery life. Battery life will burn through your batteries pretty quick. The Aimpoint on the highest setting, you're not going to get a month of full run time if you want to use it as a carry gun, duty gun, and into some professional capacity. I know that in the hecticness that is life, we have mortgages and jobs and stuff we have to go do, so you have to be on top of it if you want to run at the highest setting. With pistol lights, I typically like to run my lights brighter. I hate having a weak pistol, I'm sorry, not lights, but a pistol dot. I like to have it on the highest setting and/or get it out of my face, camera guy. A nice high setting just for me it makes for a faster target acquisition. When you run a red dot to some capacity, biggest issue is when you get on target is finding the dot. That's what a lot of people suffer with when they first get into pistol mounted red dots. So, of course, to mitigate this, what you do is you dry fire, right? Go figure. You always just punch out, and we can do one thing is a little life pro tip. You just bring it back in and punch it back out, bring it back in and punch it back out, and that's just something you can do to mitigate the learning curve of the pistol red dot. It's just finding your dot. To me, I feel like of all the dots I've used, and that's gonna be Aimpoint Pro, RMR, maybe some like Holoston stuff, a little bit cheaper stuff, but the Acro actually does a really good job of fast target acquisition. Now, the nice thing is it has big old chunky selector of brightness over here. Essentially, to save, the more power you save is just the less brightness that the dot has. So on the highest setting, it's gonna burn through your batteries pretty quick. You bump that down as low as it can go, and you essentially lose visibility of it. And it's gonna be years to where that it's gonna last. So very high contrast of output and performance based on your battery level and how bright you run the gun, or bright you run the dot, I should say. I'm falling apart, camera guy. I need a coffee break. You like to film everything? Can I get a semblance of peace?
Action.
Good day. Today's video is sponsored by Macca's. Okay. Okay. 2 Charlies, 1 Alpha, 1 Zebra.
One take.
Well,
With Tukas at Lee Rex Arms.
All right, so what makes the Aimpoint ACRO worth the price tag? Well, there's a lot of things going on with the Aimpoint ACRO in general. So if you're wondering, hey, so there's 2 lenses on this. Well, there's not. So the dot is actually inside of this mailbox of death, and these are 2 sacrificial lenses on the outside. So as far as stuff getting in and around your lens, you're gonna have to mitigate that. So that's a big problem with red dots in the sense of like to a duty capacity, because you gotta think for the majority of guys, we carry our handgun to a capacity where it's exposed to the elements. So in this setup, I don't have a hood for mine. We're in this Ragnarok. So if it was raining, if it was foggy, if I was getting low and dirty to the ground, stuff and debris is gonna get all, it's gonna follow Murphy's Law doctrine of things going wrong. It's gonna get all on my red dot. Well, it's not actually getting on the actual dot. So as far as me clearing any sort of dust or debris, all I have to do is wipe it off the front and back, and I can get access back to my dot. So that's a pro. The rugged reliability of Aimpoint is also a plus. So the Swiss, they make a whole bunch of things good. Hot chocolate, watches, and Aimpoints. I mean, we love our American-made stuff, but the Swiss do some good stuff too, okay? And no exception with Aimpoint. So one interesting factoid about this dot is that it takes different batteries than, say, a Trijicon RMR. Now, you can't necessarily find these batteries at a Walmart, but you can also have them, delivered to you through Amazon. So on a period schedule, or you can order a whole bunch, you can order all these batteries to your house, and they're cheap. They're like $1 a battery. So that's something you have to consider. I'll throw the number of the batteries in here on post. I can't think of the number off the top of my head. It's gonna like show up down here, up here. So holsters, that's gonna be another point of contention. One thing you have to worry about is what holster do I get? So you saw earlier that the holster I usually run on the channel, this Fireline right here, it wasn't accepting the ACRO. And so what you're gonna wanna do is maybe some sort of modification in the inside of the holster, or call your holster maker or Fireland and dial in what exact holster you're gonna need for your specific use. Another perk about this thing is that Aimpoint ACRO, swapping out that battery right here on the side, once you get this gun zeroed off the bat, everything's good to go. You essentially, if you never remove it from the slide, you don't have to worry about re-zeroing after you change the battery, which is a big pro. It's just like one of those things, okay, battery's dead, boop, boop, swap it in, boop, boop, and you're good to go. And it's ready to run and gun again for X amount of time, whenever you run it. Like I said, I like running my dots brighter. It's just faster target acquisition in most settings, except for when it's actually super dark out, because it's gonna blow it out. But anyway, sacrificial lenses on both sides. So of course, if you break this, you can send it back to Aimpoint and they'll swap them out for you, which is a big pro. But then if you're taking it off the gun, you have to re-zero. Oh, it's gonna brighter every day.
It's almost as bright as the light called the Aimpoint ACRO that you keep referring to as a light.
Things happen, things go wrong. Hey, Murphy's Law. When you're on the flat range, LARPing with your boys, mitigation of things going wrong. All right, how do your biomechanics relate and work in?
Not this again.
Shooter ready, cameraman ready, stand by, and angle. All right, hey, gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment down below. Patreon, thanks to my Patreon supporters. They're gonna see this video before any of you, so I always give them early access, and I give them a link to my video so they can watch. They are big supporters of the channel, and I thank them very much for supporting me, even though there are much better places they can donate their money. So thank you, gentlemen and ladies. Shirts, selling shirts, they're available on my website. There should be a link in the description down below. You go hop down there, you can find a shirt. Guys hit me up on Instagram, they're like, hey dude, where do I find a shirt? Check the description of every video, there's a link. You'll find it. and working on getting some more designs going. But go ahead, and there's an MZRA shirt down there. Go ahead and snag. Nice little string of fire. But thanks for sticking around. Thanks for sticking around. You want to play this game, huh? You want to play this game, huh?
He's gonna regret this.
A little bit of fire superiority, huh? Well, gentlemen, thanks for sticking by, watching this channel. It's ridiculous. It's where our dreams go to die, and our memes becomes dreams. Okay, well, that's the video. Are you still recording? Are you still recording? What are you still doing here? You were supposed to send for help.